What goes through your mind? Preparing for your first archery whitetail hunt ever. Making sure you're as ready as possible. And then walking in, knowing that buck that you chose not to hunt last year, in one short year, had grown to be a monster 240 plus inch buck with 6 big drops.
Friday morning in Saskatchewan. I still just can't believe it.
We all search for it. Some of us work our entire lives to get there, hoping to get that one chance at the deer of a lifetime. And no matter how hard we work, many never will. But we learn along the way that all that work is what we love, what drives the pursuit. We pass on what we know to our children to give birth to their own search and hope with all that preparation and dedication. And sometimes some luck that someday we'll be handed the keys that open a door to a land where legends live.
Right when I saw him, I'm like, oh my God, I want him.
It's a heavy, crazy cool deer. Extra stickers.
Probably the biggest deer I've ever killed.
That's pretty neat with those flyers on the front.
Just an absolute fantastic deer. He's a gorgeous deer. There's no way a guy could ask for any more.
Stealth Cam presents Dean Partridge's Canadian Whitetail. Brought to you by Ozonics, undetectable, undeniable. Monster Meal, attract, nourish, retain. Excalibur crossbow, different for a reason. Heater bodysuit, #1 in cold weather hunting gear. New archery products, hunt with confidence. Bog, engineered for the unknown. Hoyman, your land, your legacy. Muddy, serious gear for serious hunters. Glendale 3D Targets, the biggest and toughest 3D targets in the world. Nocturnal lighted nocks, switch on accuracy and let it glow. Boyd's hardwood gun stocks, better with Boyd's. Raculator, score your trophy fast, easy, and accurate. Old timer knives, built for generations. And by Stealth Cam, proven reliability, proven quality, proven performance.
This week is a special episode about a very unique buck, actually the largest whitetail ever arrowed by a female hunter. And believe it or not, it was her very first archery deer. Kassandra and Bo have quite a hunt to share with us. And for those of you that have followed Canadian Whitetail, Bo is a very familiar face. Bo Knutson has been with us since day one, sharing his hunts for big Saskatchewan whitetails, like this deer from season 1, a decade ago. A very impressive deer for a very deserving fellow. The next year he shared a hunt for an even more extraordinary buck. Well-known, Bo over the years has made his mark on Saskatchewan hunting, taking dream animals year after year, regardless of the species. Meeting Kassandra, the two began spending more time in the outdoors, enjoying the hunt, the scouting, and the process, with Kassandra taking a deer of her very own. In 2018, while scouting, they came across a non-typical buck and decided not to hunt it to see what would happen if it survived another season. And if it did, the next year Kassandra would put the time in to hunt that deer. And oh, what a difference a year can make. No one could have imagined or dreamed what the buck would turn into.
This segment of Canadian Whitetail is brought to you by Nocturnal Lighted Nocks. Nocturnal Lighted Nocks, string activated, simple, Switch on accuracy and let it glow. Canadian Whitetail is also brought to you by Central Boiler Outdoor Furnaces, the ultimate wood heat. Black Eagle Arrows, advanced carbon technology. Tinks, makers of the finest deer lures and scents. Tacticam, share your hunt. Wild Edge, makers of the stepladder. Cyclops, get out of the dark. Styrka Optics, we see things differently. Elite Archery, the world's most shootable bow. And by Scott Archery. This segment of Canadian Whitetail has been brought to you by Bog. More than just a shooting rest. Bog, engineered for the unknown.
In 1 year, the non-typical buck had turned from a nice deer to a giant, a 240-inch class non-typical sporting an average frame but also 6 massive Droptines. This was the deer of her dreams, of anyone's dreams, and they were headed in to get set up.
We were hunting a buck in here last year that had some potential, so we kind of pulled out of the area, let him be. Put some cameras up here, got some pictures of him, and he's pretty big this year. He's got lots of stuff going on, and we're gonna set up the muddy blind, get everything set up, ready to go for opening day. Got lots of work to do, so we're gonna get out here and hopefully things work out for us. And Cass can slip an arrow through him.
Let's get it done.
What do you think, Scarlett?
Ready to go feed some deer? Excited? Right on.
Another ridge to the back here, and they're basically running east and west all the time. Start brushing the shooting lanes and getting everything ready. We don't want to come in here any more than we have to, so we got about 3 weeks before the season opens here, so we got lots of time to kind of make some noise and ruffle things up in here a bit today and get everything ready, and then we'll back out and let it settle down and get ready for the hunting season.
Mommy gonna get a big one this year?
Yeah.
What about Bo? Bo gonna get a big one?
Yeah.
Are you gonna get some gophers?
Yeah.
Right on. So we're just finishing up brushing in the blind, and then we are gonna put some more cameras out so we can be prepared and quiet for as it gets closer to opening day.
With everything set up and more monster mail out, when returning to check the car, the incredible buck is irregular, and all that's left is a few more practice shots waiting for opening day of Kassandra's very first archery whitetail season. One last check the day before the season shows the buck very visible. And with one last long sleepless night, Kassandra is finally ready to hunt.
This deer that we're hunting this year has been on camera all day, every day, all night. So we're hoping that today at this time with this wind, we can sneak in if, while he's not on there. He is there at 10 in the morning, 11 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, 4 in the afternoon, right before shooting time, right like morning, night. So it's pretty crazy. This guy's got droppers everywhere, and he is just such a beautiful deer.
A surreal feeling to be walking in to hunt that kind of deer, I'm sure, but also likely some relief that it's finally time to put plan to motion.
The animals are coming in from the east and west, and we're set up on the south side of a ridge with a little bit of a height advantage over the shooting lane.
Full of anticipation and jitters, the first day is rather slow, but their plans to return are already made with the commitment that if it takes 1 day or 90, she was going to be there. On day 2, the Droptine buck again would not appear, but Kassandra would have an encounter with a buck that would tempt most seasoned hunters. A gorgeous, heavy-beamed, mature-looking buck with a couple of extra stickers. But Kassandra still opts to pass, knowing what else lurks in these woods.
We did a card pull on the stealth cam, and the last time that we seen this deer in daylight was on Thursday, so last Thursday, a week ago. We've seen him a few times now at night or just after shooting time is finished. We're hoping today that he'll come in. We've seen some good movement yesterday, and some of the other bucks that he was coming in with came in last night.
Today, while spraying down to walk in, they were about to have the oddest encounter that you can imagine, right there at the truck. When Bo looks up, and there on the ridge right in front of him is the giant.
Cass was spraying in front of me, and I turned around, and just when I turned around and she was spraying my back, I seen the target buck standing on the hill. He must have been bedded like 50 or 75 yards from the truck when we parked. I've never seen deer bed there before, but we might be busted tonight. It might work in our favor. He's up now. It's crazy. Never seen nothing like it before.
This segment has been brought to you by the Heater Bodysuit. The Heater Bodysuit is the ultimate cold weather hunting garment that allows you to stay on stand longer and sit comfortably. The Heater Bodysuit. You stay warm or your money back. This segment is brought to you by Heumann and the new no-slip H-grip on their full line of tools. Best-in-class tools for every application. Heumann, your land, your legacy.
After a once-in-a-lifetime encounter with a once-in-a-lifetime buck, Kassandra was headed in to sit for the day. Again today, movement was slow, except for another encounter with the heavy big 5x5, but tomorrow is a new day, and you never know when it might happen.
So here we are, it's day number 5. The wind, this is the only wind we haven't sat. It's a northeast wind. We're hoping that something will change for us today. It's exciting, it's breathtaking, it's nerve-wracking. It'll just make it that much more worthwhile at the end if we can put a tag on him.
Earlier in the day, Bo was in to top things up and check the stealth cam, and just that morning, there he was. And any thoughts of that being a good sign are right. As Kassandra just gets in and set up, this young buck makes an appearance, and they spot another deer coming. It's the massive Droptine non-typical. An amazing, odd, and unique deer on so many levels, and at only 20 yards. And Kassandra draws on what she'd been dreaming of.
Welcome to this week's Canadian Whitetail Scouting segment. Locate, learn, set up, hunt. Brought to you by Muddy Outdoors.
A lot of people send in questions asking about spring scouting, and it's a great time to be in the field. It's a great time to be finding sheds. It's a great time to do some scouting from previous sign, but maybe not necessarily what's happening right now. And by that I mean when we're out in the spring, I'm looking for old trails, old scrapes, and old rubs. Not necessarily where the deer are moving right now, because that time period between March or April and June when things grain up, those deer are so focused on food, they're spread out all over the countryside. A lot of bucks that you might see or you might come across, or a lot of areas that you find really good deer activity, come summer, come fall, they're going to be vacant of deer. We definitely scout all year round, but we want to focus on making our fall decisions based on fall travel patterns. So we'll use the rest of the year to scout, to find information, look for that old sign from the previous fall, look for current deer, because if you find that buck, you know he's from the area somewhere. It might be a mile, 2 miles, 3 miles away, but at least you know he exists, you can go find him. But we don't put too much stock in trails and deer activity that we find in May. Deer season is all year round for us, but the time of year that we can hunt is a very concentrated time. And that's the snapshot in that deer's life that we want to focus on, making our decisions on where we're going to put stands, where we're going to set up, where we're going to put out monster meal, where we do all of our legwork is for that snapshot. So the rest of the year, we're not as concerned with what that deer's doing right now. We're learning about what he did last fall, what he's going to do this fall, and we're just trying to fit that whole puzzle together, because at the end of the day, deer hunting can be just one big puzzle, and you're missing one piece. And when you find that piece, it could land you the next deer of your dreams. And that's your Canadian Whitetail Scouting segment for the week.
This week's Canadian Whitetail Scouting segment has been brought to you by Muddy Outdoors. Share your own muddy moment. This segment brought to you by AAE. Innovation and integrity is in our blood. Quality and dependability is in our products.
The giant 6-drop Tine 240-inch non-typical was on the scene, and Kassandra was ready. And her stealth cam captured this clip just seconds before making her shot.
Well, Cass's shot looked pretty good. We gave this buck about an hour. There's a fair amount of blood at the initial where he first run off. So we're gonna go and see if we can find him, get our hands on him.
But as darkness falls, they cannot locate the buck, and Kassandra's sleepless nights are not over yet, as they plan to back out and return in the morning to a very welcome surprise.
We were right here all night. He was right here. Oh my goodness. A whole night of not sleeping, worrying about this deer. Wondering if you're gonna find him and if you can celebrate, and oh my gosh, he's right there. I can't even look at him. It's been quite the adventure. Season opened on Sunday and today's Friday morning. We've been hunting this deer for 2 years. Last year we held off on him.
So we had this buck on the stealth cam since July 13th. Every Sunday that was our family day, is going and checking this camera, and Scarlett came with us a lot. She enjoyed it.
I didn't waste any time. He came in. He didn't see us, he didn't look up at the blind or anything, and he put his head down, so I drew. There was blood right off the hop, right from where I shot him, but then it started to peter out, so all night last night we were following the blood trail. And there's no better feeling than the feeling like this Friday morning in Saskatchewan. I still just can't believe it.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Well, what an incredibly unique, awesome, and special deer. The 166-inch typical frame, but adding on an outstanding 77 inches of drops and abnormals to come in at just over 240 inches. And her first archery whitetail. Well, what's left to say? Congratulations, Kassandra, on what's truly the deer of many lifetimes. Thanks for watching this week's episode of Canadian Whitetail.
This segment has been brought to you by Wild Edge and the Ultimate Climbing System. The stepladder. Safely design your climb in any tree, anywhere, with the most versatile, lightweight, and compact climbing system. The stepladder. To book your own dream hunt in northern Saskatchewan, please contact us at Canadian Whitetail Outfitters. Canadian Whitetail has also been brought to you by these fine sponsors. For exclusive content, follow Dean and the team on Facebook, as well as on Instagram and Twitter at Whitetail Dean. To view all past and present episodes of Canadian Whitetail, as well as new original content, visit us on our YouTube and Carbon TV channels. For Canadian Whitetail gear and apparel, visit CanadianWhitetailTV.com.
Audio